I thought it would be fun to make a video discussing how the law of correspondence relates to the metaphysics of healing, of ritual, of ceremony, of visualization and co-creation. The law of correspondence basis is everything is connected, and not only connected but self-similar across all scales. So the law of correspondence is one of the 7 laws of the energetic mechanics of the universe. So let's elaborate on this concept. If something exists on the dimensional plane, there is a self-similar correspondence on the next plane, across all planes. This is a microcosm or macrocosmic example of something that already exists. Basically, something gets replicated many times, but gets smaller as it gets replicated. Think of fractals. Or even better, think of those Russian dolls that nest within each other and they get smaller and smaller, but they look exactly the same. That is a perfect example of what the law of correspondence looks like. Basically, our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. And if you've heard of the axiom, as above, so below, as below, so above, then you know what I'm talking about. Now, that axiom is actually directly derived from the law of correspondence. Now, all cultures across the world understand this concept. This used to be common sense. And so if you want a little bit more of a clear visual explanation of the law of correspondence in nature, I highly recommend you watch the 2-minute TikTok video I posted on my feed explaining the law of correspondence brilliantly and easily, and it's just right on. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about the metaphysical aspect and how it can provide a foundational support in strengthening our belief that our dreams, our desires, our intentions are powerful, are effective, and really essential to co-creating our life, our reality. In the physical world, thoughts become things. We know now through science for sure that energy comes before matter. The force of energy can create something to solidify, and depending on how much force and gravity there is, will dictate how solid or the texture of something created of matter, right? So what is that energy? It's the invisible realm, right? It could be thought, it could be desire. So that is also running through us. If we really contemplate this, that's, aside from being scientific, it's magical as fuck. And healers, witches, shamans, magicians around the world work with ether. It's the luminescent light and sound that weaves the fabric of creation. So we tap into the universe's intelligence through our intuition. And so understanding the law of correspondence can help us better understand the conceptual mechanics of transforming our reality, whether through visualization, ceremony, healing, etc. When we can understand how and why it works, it can help us more easily believe in its power, in our power. And right now, there is a huge shift in the world. We're all experiencing some massive changes in our society. And a lot of us are here to help usher in a new paradigm. And sometimes life's changes can leave us feeling a little bit confused, a little bit powerless, a little bit stressed, right? This is a way to bring our power back and remembering it all starts from within. So we talked about everything being connected and replicated and self-similar. This also includes the abstract, thought and emotion, meaning everything in physical life is a reflection of our emotional, mental, and spiritual state, matching our vibration, matching our perception, our beliefs, our thoughts, our feelings, right? It's manifesting itself like a projector screen into our reality, into our field of consciousness. We are a vibrational match one way or another, whether we like it or not. So why is this important to know? If we're willing to open up to this perspective and make it a part of our everyday reality where we are aware, conscious, and present with it, and see it through that lens, the more magic will unfold for us, and it will show itself to us in our world. And so when we change our inner world, we can't help but change our outer world. It all starts and ends in the way we perceive and respond to our environment. And if we like certain things that we see, then that's great confirmation that we're on the right track. And if we don't like some of the things we see, it's a really great opportunity to ask ourselves, how and why is this in my field of consciousness? So the more we make this a part of our everyday awareness and we begin to look at the world like this, the more we can shift quickly, and just the more we can see the interaction and the magic of this world working with how we are vibrating. And it's even more powerful when we meditate. You know, meditation brings us into stillness, into our center, into the void, into the etheric realm where all the magic happens. And when we're in that state of meditation and visualization, we are imagining or allowing a new reality to be born. And what's interesting about this, if you remember the rule of the Law of Correspondence, is if you see it in your mind, then chances are is that it already exists by default, or that it will exist in more than one plane because you thought of it. Now, as for spiritual ritual and ceremony, this is very powerful. I mean, ritual is not necessarily always spiritual. It can simply mean habits or routines that we do in our daily lives, like working out or tending to our garden to create a desired result, right? Well, same thing is happening in a ceremony or spiritual ritual. All cultures have them, and they understand how very much needed they are for creating catalysts for powerful change. It's like a portal or initiation into creating a self-similar scale. And a spiritual ritual is a set of actions that create sacred space, that gives symbolic expression to our emotions, our thoughts, to strengthen our desires, our intentions. The ritual expresses as a microcosmic example of what we want mirrored in the outside world. It assists us with creating a deeper connection with the etheric realm beyond matter. So using the Law of Correspondence is a catalyst to ground our magic. We harness our focus and activate these connections and set into motion what we want to see materialize in the physical world. And it can't help but manifest, because everything is connected and self-similar and replicated and is a microcosm of everything else. It must exist and become what is because of the Law of Correspondence. And just a side note, the most effective places to do these healings or these ceremonies are either in places that are clean, neat, consecrated spaces, or even better, nature, which is the purest state of creation. Vibrationally, it reflects our purest state. It's not obscured by a messy room or a messy office. Remember, messy room, messy mind, and vice versa. So nature is the purest, rawest state, reflecting who we are naturally in our perfectness as creations. And the way I see it, the more we practice being aware of experiencing our inner world as a microcosm of the outer world, the easier it is for us to believe that we can change it, starting with ourselves. Belief is a major factor in change and co-creation. So is desire, and so is the things that we consistently focus on. They have a better chance of materializing. So when you can bring the belief into it, you can create anything. And unfortunately, in this world, we're heavily influenced to doubt ourselves. So my hope is that the more we understand the Law of Correspondence, the more it supports us in understanding that we can create change just by the law of physics or metaphysics. And then we can take our co-creating power back. Hopefully this connected some dots for you. Let me know if I missed anything or if you want to add anything to the comments. Again, I highly recommend watching that 2-minute TikTok video to get a clear, concise, visual understanding of the Law of Correspondence if my video wasn't clear.